Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will see how Gobta was saved by Rimuru and who will accompany Testarossa to the Empire. If you haven't watched previous video or chapter, you can find the link in the description below. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and click on the bell, so you won't miss my latest video. Without further ado, let's get started. It's always a problem for girls. That's what it means, simply to be able to cut it into bite-sized pieces and serve it better when you serve it. And I understand what Mr. Gabble is saying, but seriously, that's a pain in the ass. Mr. Gobta, even if you have that thought, you can't say it. This is the first step to becoming a gentleman. I learned this from Lord Rimuru's words. Geez, I know that. But this is a battlefield. Eat when you can, and don't be too extravagant about it. That's the right attitude to have at a time like this, and that's what I thought when I was in charge by being the army chief. As long as there's something to eat, there's nothing to worry about, or so Gobta thought. This was a battlefield, and when he heard such capricious words, he was tempted to say, there's something wrong with that. As a result of accepting the assignment to become a military chief, Gobta also began to develop a sense of responsibility. In addition to that, he had another layer of thought, which was that he wanted to show his handsome appearance to the people present, and that was why he spoke the words just now. Gobta was right on the money. But in this world, it didn't help to reason with certain people. Perhaps Gobta should have thought more carefully about this. What fun, Gobta boy! I'm starting to get excited. Yes, indeed. Fortunately, he was the one responsible for corresponding with me. Testarossa and Ultima responded with a smile. But there was no smile in their eyes at all. Ah, this is bad, everyone, but Gobta thought so. First, wait a minute, Gobta-kun. Chief of the Gobta army? Let's get this here first. I think several of the intelligence marshals should have understood. Someone rushed to intervene to stop it, and it was one of Gobta's adjutants, named Gachi. Gachi knew that Gobta meant no harm, he was just being frank about his feelings, and it was because the two had known each other for a long time and knew that Gobta was not wrong in what he said. But in this world, life on Earth could not be about right and wrong. These correct statements didn't work for some people. Gachi knew how to read an atmosphere and knew that there were dangerous people who should not be provoked. It was not an unusual role for someone to be able to enjoy an afternoon tea on the battlefield. Gobta-kun, it's not good to preach to such people. That's the state of mind that Gachi was currently in. He had guessed correctly that Gobta was in a very dangerous position at the moment. Testarossa and Ultima were not angry with Gobta at all, simply treating him as a fun toy. But they were still demon primordials, and being treated as toys by them meant that the fate of Gobta was like a candle in the wind. But just at this time, a miracle happened. Oh, Testarossa. Can you talk now? It was too late to tell, and Rimuru reached out to Testarossa through the communication network. Thus, Gobta was saved. No problem at all. So, Lord Rimuru, what can I do for you? Testarossa fell to her knees on the spot and responded. Upon seeing this, the others around them realized that Rimuru had used the communication network to contact Testarossa. It didn't take long before everyone was on their knees. Rimuru was completely oblivious. Ah, yes. Hold on a second. He said this leisurely, and then this time also contacted Gobta and Gabble using the communication network. Is there a connection? Yes. I'm okay with that too. Feeling a nod from Rimuru after hearing that. What Rimuru said afterwards startled Testarossa and others. I have just discussed this with King Gazel. To take on the Empire, the vanguard goes to us, Tempest, but until then, we have to deal with the Empire first. In fact, he was tempted to attack first, but still expected to go and talk the other side down once before that. Next Rimuru began to state what he had said to Gazel about the good things. Testarossa and neither of them interjected and listened through the instructions. And after that, then, Lord Rimuru, can I take care of this negotiation? The discerning Testarossa asked so rhetorically. It sounded like an acknowledgement to someone, but it was actually already a matter of decision in her mind. The question is how to strike a balance with what the other person meant. Yes, that's it. You should also continue to serve as a diplomatic officer on this side, giving you full authority to represent me. You may consult me at any time, granting you permission to contact me through the communication network and maintaining your equal status with the army commander, in the hopes that you will work together with Gobta and Gabble to make things work. I'll do as you say. At the moment she, like Ultima, had been sent as an ombudsman, but Testarossa was on the other hand the chief of the Western Army. That legion didn't have a chance to appear this time, but its power was the largest in the Monster Kingdom. On the same level as Gobta and Gabble, she was the right man to send as an emissary to the Empire. Good. By the way, it should be dangerous to travel to the Empire as an emissary, is that okay? In this way, Rimuru asked in a worried tone, and the subject, Testarossa, seemed to happily oblige. There is no problem. I will definitely show the Empire who don't know the immensity of heaven and earth, how powerful Lord Rimuru is. That is, hopefully a war can be avoided if it can, but I don't think that should be possible. So after that, think of the Empire as an enemy, and just wipe them out. Hey! No, well, that's right. Just leave it to your servant. If those people are foolish enough to ignore Lord Rimuru's merciful ultimatum, it is not worth letting them live in this world at all. I will destroy them all. Testarossa was full of killing intent. Gabble, who felt this, was scared to death and thought to himself, I'm a little afraid to compliment such a terrible girl. Conversely, Gobta was as dumb as ever. Lord Rimuru, please be assured. Testarossa had a lot of energy and said some very imposing things the first time she went to war. I'll be right beside her. Don't worry. In this way, the Gobta, who did not know how to read the situation, spoke towards Rimuru. Hey, you? Of course, it's me. I am at least a military chief, and I should take responsibility for my position. It is also my duty to guard the delicate women. Facing the astonished Rimuru, Gobta finished and straightened his chest. Even Testarossa smiled darkly when she heard it. This kid, he's stupid, but I don't hate it. To be able to misunderstand herself so much, even Testarossa was surprised. While Testarossa clearly did not intend to hide her cruel nature, Gobta was completely unaware of it, making her feel that the man had quite a lot of nerves. I know. Then I'll send Ranga over as well, and you'll go over with Ranga as Testarossa's escort. If the Empire responds to our demands, so be it. If you don't respond, there will be a war on the spot. You must be careful not to die. Leave it to us. I'm the best at running away. Is that so? Then I'll leave it to you. After saying this, Rimuru cut off the communication network. Just like that, the monster army decided to strike. Everyone was quiet, watching the situation. It's finally our turn. Everyone, get your stuff together, we're going on a march. The sound of Gobta's loud voice rang out from the scene. Immediately afterwards, the army of monsters moved out simultaneously. That's all for today. Hope you enjoy the video. For the next upload, we will continue with Chapter 1, Shake and Consciousness, Part 6. See you in my next video.